The Full Melt Show is intended for a mature audience. It contains adult themes, adult content, and sometimes adult language. Listener discretion is advised.
Full Melt.
Marijuana is now legal in Massachusetts. As of midnight, state law permits people over the age of 21 to carry up to an ounce of pot and to keep up to 10 ounces at home. Residents can also grow up to a maximum of 12 marijuana plants per household. It is still illegal to buy and sell marijuana. Retail shops are at least a year away, but legal recreational marijuana use will likely have an immediate effect in Massachusetts. WBUR Steve Brown explains what legalization changed in Colorado.
We got a couple different options. Got the Mobio G Haze.
And what are the prices on?
It's going to be $45 and you get 15% off today.
A bud tender at River Rock Cannabis on the north side of Denver explains to a young couple the prices and characteristics of a certain strain of marijuana they are considering buying. Routine transactions like this have been taking place in Colorado for nearly 3 years, and the business continues to grow.
Could I get a gram of that?
Yeah, for sure. We're just doing the 1 gram for you today?
Yes.
Okay.
Unlike Massachusetts, Colorado has had a much longer experience with some form of legalized marijuana. The drug was decriminalized 41 years ago, and in 2000, voters amended the state constitution to allow patients with a doctor's note to possess up to 2 ounces of medical marijuana or grow 6 plants for their personal use. By the time recreational marijuana was available for sale in retail stores to adults in 2014, the novelty had somewhat worn off.
It hasn't really changed life here. And we've been living with legal cannabis for 4 years and these legal sales for 3 years.
Ricardo Baca is the editor of the cannabis section of the Denver Post. He says the first day of legalized sales was fascinating.
Suddenly these shops are open, and for the first time, people were able to walk into a shop with little more than an ID proving they're of age, and they were able to buy legal cannabis for the first time in the modern world. So that was kind of thrilling.
But
at the same time, nothing really changed. A lot of people's worst fears didn't come to fruition then, and a majority of those have not come to fruition since then.
Baca says people were very concerned about Colorado's image, especially as camera crews from around the world descended on the state when the first legal sales were made. But he says marijuana consumers largely follow the rules.
The laws and the rules were carefully communicated to people. People were educated. There's always been so much misinformation about not only this substance, but people who use it regularly, whether, we're calling them stoners or potheads or cannabis aficionados, and they behaved responsibly on January 1st, and for the most part, they continue to behave responsibly around this newly legal substance.
Officials in Colorado point to tight regulations for the successful rollout of legalized marijuana. Suzanne Jones is the mayor of Boulder, Colorado, where 75% of voters approved recreational marijuana when it was on the ballot in 2012. 4 years later,
we have a thriving marijuana sector, which has been integrated into our community. I'd say all told, we have about 90 businesses when you include the grows, the infused products, manufacturers, and the retail stores. And over the several years since recreational marijuana has been legalized, I think we've brought in over $8 million in tax revenue. So, it's contributing in multiple ways to the community.
Jones says taxes on marijuana sales has brought in more than $8 million since legalization. And she says another boost has been marijuana tourism, folks coming in from other states to sample what's forbidden back home.
I will say, though, that I'm glad some other states have legalized recreational marijuana. It will be good to spread that around and not have it be such a novelty. I'm not sure that we need more people moving to Colorado for marijuana.
Colorado continues to ease marijuana restrictions. Last month, when Massachusetts and 3 other states voted to legalize recreational marijuana, the citizens of Denver voted to allow bars and restaurants to permit the consumption of marijuana in a designated area. That's not legal in Massachusetts yet. For 90.9 WBUR, I'm Steve Brown.
It's the Full Melt Show.
Are you high? What are you talking about?
It's the Full Melt Show, a marijuana discussion about news, culture, and entertainment. TheFullMelt.com. It's your backyard. It's celebrity interviews, talks with politicos. Plus, your calls are on the air. Download the Full Melt app free at the Apple and Android app stores. With your host, Steve Green, The Full Melt Show.
Funny in the lab, it can do with a dab. You wanna take a stab at it, bring what you have. You think it's alright till you tune in tonight. I'll leave you on the floor with the Full Melt Show, Full Melt Show, Full Melt Show, Full Melt Show, Full Melt Show.
Wendy, are you
Funny
there?
in the lab, it can
God,
do
I can't take it.
You wanna take a stab at it, bring what you have.
Oh, yeah,
You think it's
I'm
alright till you
here.
tune in tonight. I'll leave you on the floor with the Full Melt Show, Full Melt Show, Full Melt Show.
Are you hearing the Full Melt? I'm very confused.
Why? I'm here.
Yeah, but you probably can't hear the music, can you?
I could hear the full Melt Show, Full Melt Show, Full Melt
You
Show.
could.
Yeah,
So-
but only through the phone. So
Right, but you're not hearing it over the Skype
Right.
connection.
correct.
So go to the Facebook page there and see what you can see over there.
Oh, everyone? Should we all go at once?
Yeah, I mean we're well, you should. You know what I should do is I did not put it up on the thing, but I'm going to just keep repeating the phone number. I guess I could probably text it.
248.
Yeah, I got to say it because I don't think the people that are watching on Facebook can hear you.
Aw.
Well, because I don't have the audio plugged in because I'm streaming from the phone.
Okay.
So what you want to do is it's 248-278-8067. 248-278-8067 if you want to call and be a part of the show. I got to lock you in on the phone system, and then that way I got to show people on the thing what the phone system looks like. That's the phone system there. There's Wendy up on the thing. I got to get rid of the team viewer. What are you laughing at?
That's me.
That's Wendy up
monitor?
on the monitor. Yeah, she can. I don't know. Can you see? I can't tell what I'm. I gotta turn the camera around on the stupid Facebook thing to see. So there it is. There's Wendy up on the screen.
Oh,
and she's just on that line right there. I got all these other lines. If you want to call 248-278-8067. Hey Ashley. Hey Cheryl Jennings Cox. They're tuning in on the Facebook. See, but the problem is that they can only see what I'm showing them with the camera, and they can only hear me. They can't hear the show audio. Tomorrow we'll have that fixed.
you were going to fix it.
Oh, it's working.
It is working?
Well, I mean, no, it's working. The fix is working.
Oh.
We're working on the fix.
All right. But no one can hear me, right? On the Facebook page? Ask them.
Nobody can hear you at all, unless they're hearing you through the headphones, because I can probably turn those up loud enough people can hear. You know, I wonder if I could do that for now.
Ask them.
Hang on.
Ask
No.
them and try it.
Just bear with me. Hang on.
You're not going to blow me out, are you?
I'm doing a live experiment. Hold on. Because I had to take the headphones off, so I can't hear you really clearly yet until I turn them all the way up. What I'm trying to do is see if I can put the headphones there. Now say something.
Something.
Yeah, see, now I can kind of, I can hear you. I'm wondering if I'll be able to hear. This is all precarious. Because now I've got this balanced against the computer screen. There's a cigarette box in the way. How did that happen? What's this? I can't see now the phone's too far away. I can't read the comments.
I can read them to you.
I thought there was a cigarette in this pack. It's not. It's a doobie.
Oh, well, that's not bad.
It was a surprise doobie.
Woohoo!
It's kind of like the cannabis friendly version of finding a $5 bill in your pocket.
Oh yeah, that's great.
You ever do that? You stumbled across the laundry and you found some cash that you left behind, and it just happens to be that you're so damn broke you can't see straight at the time.
I found some in a college laundry one time, and I was excited because it wasn't even my $5. I was like, it was like $1 million at that time. I was like, wow, $5, woohoo!
So what we should do is see if we can get either some people calling in to participate on the show.
Right.
So I'm gonna give that number again. Should I put? I guess I should probably type it.
Just type.
People will read it if I type it.
Type it.
So,
and also ask someone if they can hear me. Like, say, can you hear Wendy? Type in yes or no in the comments box.
Call in the number I guess I got to punctuate here so that people number. Oops. See, I need a full-time guy in here or girl. I need a full-time person. Let's do that. How's that? Does person work better than guy or girl?
Yeah, because we got transgenders too, so we don't want to box anyone in.
We want to make sure that we're gender fluid with what's going on. And just make sure that if you do come with gender fluid, that you keep your gender fluid to yourself. I'm just asking.
Or dispose afterwards somehow in a safe manner.
There we go. So there's the call-in number. I texted it. We'll see if anybody calls. I mean,
I see your forehead. Jesus.
Yeah, I know. It's all forehead right there.
Oh, my God.
I had to do that in order to see what I was doing. Because are you watching
like
on the Facebook?
Is this like a Bosley consultation? What's going on here?
So there we go. So I don't know. Tell people to respond because I've got the headphones like cranked all the way up. So the phone should be able to hear the headphones.
Okay.
Everybody hit the thumbs up button on the Facebook Live feed of the show if they can hear not only me, but Wendy. Can you hear Wendy?
Write that in a comment.
Say some more stuff.
Write in a comment whether you can hear Wendy because
no, I'm not going to, because then you got to watch my forehead for 5 minutes again while I type my blind ass in there.
Let me just write it. I'll write it.
She did it. Not only am I blind, but this mop needs a haircut. I can see by looking in the stupid viewfinder. Do you cut hair, Wendy? Are you a hair cutter?
Well, I can do my dog, so I'm imagining you can't be much worse.
Oh, no, you're not putting the dog Flowbee on me.
No, it's not a Flowbee. I scissor cut.
Is the term Flowbee make me really old?
Yes.
Damn it.
Oh, I'm heard. Nancy hears me. We are heard.
Well, that's a good thing. We'll see how many people just build over the Facebook, because we're doing the Full Melt Show for the benefit of people who don't understand what the hell is going on, either on the radio or on the Facebook live feed. We're just kind of, hey, you know what that means? You can hear that music. That means that we're running up against a commercial break. Hang on a second.
I hear nothing.
You don't hear anything because I don't know. You can hear me, right? I don't know. She just hears music. We're fumbling our way through, trying to make a way through another Full Melt show for a Thursday. Stand by.
You're getting the Full Melt.
Your pets aren't just animals, they're members of your family. That's why we are excitedly wagging our tail about our hemp-based product that caters specifically to your best friend. Hemp oil drops are great for aging as well as active dogs and cats, and really all kinds of pets. Hemp oil drops are made from virgin, cold-pressed organic hemp oil. Our extraction process ensures the highest quality oil for your pet. With superior taste, smell, and nutrition, we hold ourselves to the highest standards, never using heat, chemicals, or preservatives in making our hemp oil products for pets. Pick up a bottle of Hempwell drops today at select retailers or online at hempwell.com. Hempwell. Hemp health for pets.
If you missed the last Full Melt show,
you missed a lot.
Yes, sir. We are just here to get you qualified, okay, for the lower interest rates.
This is a Visa card.
Okay. It's a Visa card, starts with 4, right?
So why do you need the numbers off the card?
I was going to let you know, what is your new interest rate going to be and what you qualified for, okay?
Well, wouldn't it be a security risk if I was to give my card number over the phone?
Sure, we are the one who sent you the billing statement every month.
Aren't you really just a liar? Aren't you just lying about this? Aren't you just trying to steal my credit card number? Oh, you are, you little piece of shit. You're a little fucking liar, aren't you? You're a little foreign piece of shit, aren't you? You're a little foreign fucking puke, aren't you?
That's what you are, fucking piece of shit.
Oh no, you get to suck my fucking American dick, you foreign piece of fucking shit. There you go. That's how you do that.
Imagine a world where patients can use marijuana like any other medicine. The Marijuana Patients Organization challenges the status quo by helping our neighbors to enjoy a better quality of life. Visit the MPO at marijuanapatients.org and enjoy informative articles, engaging debates, and information about treatments, doctors, and dispensaries in your area. Over 50,000 people have registered at marijuanapatients.org since 2010. Join us at the Marijuana Patients Organization today, marijuanapatients.org.
When you need legal help, you don't want to guess at who's standing next to you in court. And when it comes to a medical marijuana defense, it's even smarter to partner with a lawyer before you need one. Based in Royal Oak, David Rudoy has a proven history of not being afraid to take your case all the way to the Supreme Court and win. Find the law offices of Rudoy Law at RudoyLaw.com. RudoyLaw.com is a quick reference on your rights concerning Michigan medical marijuana and up-to-date news. That's RUDOI Law.com. Call 248-935-9074 now and talk about your legal needs, because at RudoyLaw.com, we don't just stand up for you, we stand up with you.
Wish your skin could bounce back like it used to? Neutrogena Hydro Boost Water Gel instantly quenches skin to keep it supple and hydrated day after day. With hydrating hyaluronic acid, which retains up to 1,000 times its weight in water. This refreshing water gel plumps skin cells with intense hydration and locks it in. For supple, hydrated skin that bounces back. Hydro Boost from Neutrogena. See what's possible.
And now, a Planet Green Trees flashback.
That is the paradox. Like you can't make this, the civil employees rebut the presumption, right? The state just gave $8.5 million to this administrative agency to implement. I mean, the concept there is a little offset.
The police are still seem to be involved in it.
Nothing takes incentives away from police. In fact, it gives them more fish to shoot in the barrel.
Right.
The police are literally the regulatory agency for the entire program.
And why is that?
They needed their cut.
They're the only ones knowledgeable and responsible enough to handle it. This major public health and safety issue.
Don't miss the Planet Green Trees show, Thursdays at 8 Eastern on Spreaker. It's the Full Melt Radio Show. All right, so we're back here on the show. I had to put the headphones on, man, because it's really hard to do the show without headphones on. Hang on a second. Wendy, I don't know if are you still on the Skype feed, Wendy? Wendy, are you there? I think I might have lost Wendy. Let's see if she's over here on the phone. Wendy, are you on the phone feed? No, Wendy's not on the phone feed. She lost her there, too. Hang on. Let's see if we got other people on the line here. Hello? Oh, that one's gone. Hello, you're on the Full Melt Show.
I don't know, is it me?
It is Wendy.
Hey, that's the phone, though.
Well, what happened? Did you have to call back? What happened to you? I thought you were on the phone all
I had to call. I don't know. I just got lost out there, and then I've been trying to call back into the Skype, and it's not letting me come through, but I'm in on the phone right now.
You can't call back on the Skype while I'm on the air. No wonder the audio is dipping down.
It's all my fault.
You can't. You got it. I don't know how did we lose you in the first place?
I don't know. I just heard nothing. I heard nothing at all.
Well,
do you want me to call on Skype or stay on the phone here?
Just stay on the phone. Epic fail.
All right, I'm here, guys. I'm here to stay.
Epic
We're
fail.
just going to go through this. Was there someone calling in from Facebook?
No, there was. I thought it was, but it was you.
Oh.
So,
well, we still have 7 people who are trying to listen and watch this, so let's make it amazing for them. Let's talk about Massachusetts.
You're talking about the Facebook feed. That's absent our regular audience, who's probably like, what the hell?
I know, but they're great people. They're gonna go through it with us. We're gonna just have a couple of growing pains, and we're gonna get it fixed real soon.
No. Look, the only reason I'm even dinking with this tonight is because starting tomorrow or maybe Saturday or at the very latest on Monday, I'm gonna have a studio view of a studio shot of the show and feed it to Facebook and the audio, as we're doing the program, and I think we'll have. The advantage of Facebook, a regular Facebook audience here on the program, in addition to our existing Spreaker audience and our iTunes audience, and then also the Full Melt Show website audience.
I think it'll be great. And we're just testing it right now. There is a couple difficulties, but you have new equipment coming that's going to change all that.
Well, it's not new equipment. It is new equipment. It's just replacing old equipment that I used to do the same thing with. Except before Facebook didn't do Facebook video. So the advantage here is the fact that I've got 5,000 Facebook friends from doing this subject over, the years. And then I've got the radio show's Facebook page as well, which can have as many people following it as they like. And if I post the show there, if I'm producing the show live on Facebook, we get to expose to all those people at the same time as well.
We're going to expose them?
Well, exposure is, a relative term.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird, I think, which is strange, and I think what people here in the Midwest, the sheltered Midwest, don't understand is that if you go to someplace the streets of San Francisco and you stop at a bus stop, you can fully be prepared that a completely naked person may be next to you at said bus stop. And
really?
And you can wave your hands and call the police and nobody's going to do anything because, they've decriminalized nudity there to the extent that, you can hang out in public completely nude. Like you can go in and sit down at a restaurant just buck naked.
That's good to know. I mean, if that ever comes up, because I've been to San Francisco twice and I've never had that opportunity, but if it happens and I need to go nude and eat somewhere, I'm going to be ready now.
I was seeing, they were trying a more conservative crowd. See, San Fran is, do they call that gentrified? Am I using that term right? Is it gentrified?
Well, gentrified is like an urban area that gets taken over by hipsters, so that's gentrification.
Yeah, it's gentrified. It's been gentrified by all the tech sector people that live in San Fran.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're a little more hipster, they're a little more family, they're a little bit younger, and so the old hippie crowd that was like, screw this, if we want to walk around naked, we'll walk around naked. They're like, I don't know, I don't like the idea of a naked person sitting next to me at Taco Bell.
Well, do you know you can go topless in New York as a female, New York City, that are under equal protection issues? I think that's awesome.
Just for the benefit of people watching on Facebook and listening on the show, 248-278-8067. We want to hear from you. A lot of people are chiming in on the. I have no idea what they're saying because it's way too far away from me. And those people.
Well, I can read it.
Those people today only have no benefit of being able to hear you, Wendy, or other callers, or the other show audio, because all they can hear is what's going through that stupid, the phone, which is.
Well, they said they can hear me. They said they could hear me, right?
Well,
or was that too long ago already?
They could when you weren't trying to call in and lowering the audio. Yeah, so I put the headphones back on because I thought I had a caller to talk to, but it was really just you. I can try it again. Let's see. I mean, let's see here.
So you want me hanging up by the phone and calling through Skype right now?
No. Just stay where you're at.
I'm going to stay where I'm at.
We'll try it this way. Because I can hear
at my undisclosed bunker location.
It is an undisclosed bunker location. At least where you're at.
Sector 5. Sector 5.
So, we wanted to talk about cannabis. Can we do that today? Because we never seem to get. We sit around and screw around and test things and goof off, and then we never get to the stuff we want to talk about.
We're going to get serious right now.
Look, it's exactly the opposite of the way I want to do this show. Right now, like you said, there's some bumps in the road, and there's a few growing pains from the move of the studio and some upgrade of service and adding the video feature. Things have changed a little bit, so there's some growing pains. And anytime you relocate a studio, I mean, I'm just going to show people for the benefit of the Facebook audience. I mean, there's all this equipment. You've got this. That's the broadcast box. There's the broadcast box screen. That's the audio that's playing in the background. You can't hear it right now. There's our crazy soundboard with all the. There's some more computer crap back there.
Those are alleged Marlboros, which actually hide doobies.
You always change the subject. Look, I don't know why you always chime in and change the subject to something else. You totally sideline me.
No, because you showed the doobs just now. I mean, the Marlboros, and I was like, oh.
Doobie right there. Look at that.
No, I'm just saying that's where you hide it. No, I'm a girl. I think we get people chime in.
Look, and I've got a faux pas. I've got the doobie in the cigarette ashtray. That's like a no-no.
That looks delicious.
And then there's a roach right there, just a big nasty roach right at the edge of the ashtray.
Well, at least it wasn't one you were trying to smoke. That was an insect.
It's a tiny. Oh, that was horrible. Don't remind me of that. But I'm just saying, all this equipment takes a lot of plugs and, configuration. If you don't get it just right, boy, you're in for a nightmare. But so
there's a lot of buttons.
Yeah. So we've dropped down to two people on the Facebook feed. They're like, screw this. We got better stuff to do. I can't believe I fell for this stupid clickbait.
They'll get there. They'll come back.
Well, I think right now, for the moment, at least they can hear you. What I need to do is expand this audio a little bit so that I can see where we're at on the timeline. Do we still have a show? Did they not? They didn't take us off yet? No?
They haven't hunted us down yet. We're still going.
My producer says that we're still on the air. So keep rolling. He's giving me the roll it sign, like keep going. Like he keeps looking at his watch, though, like they're going to shut me down any second.
Any moment.
Like, this guy calls himself a broadcaster, and he's not doing any of that. He's just fucking off. He's over there just making hay out of, he's got that big sign on. He's wearing the big sandwich board that says, I'm a radio guy, but when you get to him, he's just a buffoon. It's just a clown walking down the street in a radio DJ shirt. Is there such a thing as a radio DJ shirt? Yes, there is.
Yeah, and yours is backwards. You need to put yours backwards now, so when we see you on Facebook, it looks right, because when I look at it on Facebook, it's like love.
Well, it's only backwards because it's using the back-ass-words camera to look at me.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, look at you.
Look, I got the hair sticking up. See, that's the other thing with radio, In TV studio, there's like a green room over there somewhere where there's a makeup artist and a hairstylist, and they basically put you through the barbershop quartet move, and then they shove you out the other side all spiffy, looking for pixels.
Look at it this way, Steve. You got a face made for radio.
Hey, and don't you forget that. So. Oh, back to marijuana. Are we still talking about marijuana?
Okay. Yes, we are.
I thought we were talking about cannabis.
Oh, that's right, cannabis. Marijuana is the slang. We don't want to say that anymore. We're trying to be PC.
You know what's really strange? I'm looking around for my phone, and then I realize my phone's looking at me. Trying to figure out. I can't even look in the stuff to talk about the cannabis stuff because the phone is now a broadcasting device, at least for today.
Well, let's just go over what they talked about with the New Massachusetts stuff. There was a lot of statistics and information in that. There was a juicy article. Let's talk about it.
Somebody's putting, I don't know, they're typing crazy stuff on the Facebook page.
That's all right. Let them play.
The Massachusetts stuff, I mean, it is legal there now, but like you said, it's, this is like California all over again. I mean, not California. This is like Colorado all over again, just 4 years later.
Everyone seems to go through these transitions.
Okay, so do you remember the first stage of the legalization at Colorado? Do you remember what the difference between medical marijuana and then when something changed?
Well, do I remember when it happened, and then what? I don't know if I can understand the question.
Do you remember the first change that happened in Colorado beyond medical marijuana?
Like when they added recreational?
Correct. Yes.
I don't know. I think I'm confusing it with Washington, because I think in Washington they shut down the medical dispensaries and they just made everyone go retail.
I'm not talking about Washington. Let's stick with Colorado.
I think I'm
talking about
it. Yeah.
Talking about.
I don't think I know.
Okay. So,
I don't think I know.
So in Colorado, it was medical and medical only. They were pretty strict about it. They had one of the tightest medical programs. They had it buttoned down. The seed to sale tracking and all that was already done. And then they voted in 2012 to legalize cannabis in Colorado for adults 21 and over.
Recreational. Yeah.
Well, adult recreational, not medical marijuana. You're right. Did I say medical? I did. See, it's a Freudian.
I don't know.
It's a Freudian slip.
We've been programmed.
So, they legalized it for adults 21 and over in 2012 in the presidential election, and then but they gave themselves 2 years to promulgate the rules and get everybody up to par and get everybody ready for the marketplace. And then 2014 was when they started selling. Now in the midterm, in between 2012 and 2014, it was still now legal for adults 21 and over. Like. You weren't getting busted anymore for having, but you just couldn't go to a store and buy it until 2014. you could still have it and you could still consume it as long as you were doing it, not in public. And you couldn't get in trouble for it. It's just, and you could grow it now and couldn't get in trouble for it. I think. Could you grow it now? I don't think you could. I don't think the retail market gets to grow. So
yeah, because I think they folded the medical people into their growing for Colorado for the retail, and so we're going to just use whoever we licensed, and you grow for the retail market. I'm not sure though.
Well, what I'm saying is that they did do that as far as the growing end, but I'm saying you could still, as a medical patient, I think you're allowed to grow 6 plants in Colorado, if I'm not mistaken. I could be mistaken, but because I didn't look it up.
I'll fact check that.
I didn't back up what I'm saying now with a little bit of research before the show. Usually I would brush up on some of that stuff, but I'm pretty sure you could grow as a medical patient 6 plants for yourself, or get it through one of the medical dispensaries. In any event, my point is that the market changed in the following way. It was just medical patients only through their dispensaries and only growing it for yourself. Then it went adult, right after the vote. I think it was 90 days after the vote. People or it might have even gone into effect immediately. When it where you could have the cannabis, but the police couldn't be throwing you in jail for it anymore. And then in 2014, you could start buying it in the shops, and other people from other states could if you went there. You didn't have to have a Colorado ID to purchase your pot. Right. You could only get an eighth, though. And I think you still can only get an eighth as an outsider, an eighth at a time. Yeah, I guess you could technically go in and out of there 8 different times and get, an ounce. But that's how it works. So there was a progression in stages, and that's what's going on now in Massachusetts. Right now in Massachusetts, they're right after the vote. They're still, before you can buy, obviously, marijuana in shops, and they're still making all the rules and all that stuff. But in the meanwhile, you can't, the police aren't busting on people, or aren't supposed to be busting on people, at least in a local capacity, under state law, over adult cannabis use. Again, you still got to wait till you get to a shop. That's going to be a year or two before you can do that. But so this is the progression that's going on.
Well, I can update you on this. You can buy up to an ounce now as a non-resident, and you can have 6 plants if you're a resident, or your doctor can even authorize you to grow more than 6 plants if you need a bigger grow.
There you go. There you go. Do a little research while I'm on the phone. I appreciate you doing that. So hang on. We're hitting the break, Wendy. We are talking about the state of affairs in states with the affairs of cannabis. So we will return after the break, and I want to talk about what's going on with the show in the coming days and where you might be able to see us, because we're going to start doing some stuff on location. Oh, I let the rabbit out of the bag.
You're getting the full melt.
Your pets aren't just animals, they're members of your family. That's why we are excitedly wagging our tail about our hemp-based product that caters specifically to your best friend. Hemp oil drops are great for aging as well as active dogs and cats, and really all kinds of pets. Hemp well drops are made from virgin, cold-pressed organic hemp oil. Our extraction process ensures the highest quality oil for your pet, with superior taste, smell, and nutrition. We hold ourselves to the highest standards, never using heat, chemicals, or preservatives in making our hemp oil products for pets. Pick up a bottle of hemp well drops today at select retailers or online at hempwell.com. Hempwell, hemp health for pets.
Attention. Get ready to write down a very important number.
Michael does not know how to fail. Second place is loser.
If you have a medical marijuana case and need legal representation, call the best, Attorney Michael Comorn.
He's very passionate in the courtroom.
Getting the best outcome requires quick legal action, and it needs to start with one call, toll-free to Attorney Michael Comorn, 800-656-3557. Write it down, 800-656-3557.
Michael Comorn gave us our life back.
Attorney Michael Comorn, vigorous criminal defense.
Play-Doh Compound can help kids practice communication skills. Start by presenting the visual of the letter or word. Then ask them to mold the Play-Doh compound into the shape of the letters. It's an effective way to foster speech and even writing.
Ram trucks are reaching new heights when it comes to capability and efficiency.
The Ram Heavy Duty is the most capable full-size pickup on the road today. And the Ram 1500 is the most fuel-efficient full-size pickup ever. So what does that mean? It means Ram trucks are built for the long haul. Ram, America's longest-lasting pickups.
RootMetrics, in the nation's largest independent study, tested wireless performance across the country. Verizon won big with 153 state wins. AT&T got 38, Sprint got 2, and T-Mobile got 0. Verizon also won first in the U.S. for data, call, speed, and reliability. AT&T got text. Stuck on an average network? Join Verizon, and we'll cover your cost to switch.
It's the Full Melt Radio Show.
All right, we're back on the Full Melt Show. Cruising through. We're a little bit running late today, so we'll be on until about, I guess it'll be technically 9:15 tonight. Wendy, are you back with us? Can you hear us, Wendy? No, she's still got the music in her ear. I forgot. Can you hear us, Wendy?
I can hear you.
There you go. I got to figure that thing out, too. Yeah, that's a problem. So
we've got work cut out for us.
What about putting out? I heard something about putting out.
I said putting out. I said we have our work cut out for us. We know what the issues are.
You have your work cut out for you. That's different than putting out. See, now I got tricked.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how do I get in here? Oh, I see. There we go. That's what I need to do. I want to do. I'm still getting used to the Android platform. I had to switch accounts to get into the file that I wanted to about legal weed. Massachusetts became legal at midnight. People still can't spell Massachusetts. People can't say Massachusetts, let alone spell it.
How about Worcestershire?
What's that?
I can't say that one.
Worcestershire? Shire?
Yeah.
Sister.
My friend used to call it, he was from out of the country, what's this here sauce?
Worcester.
That's what he thought that people were saying.
I believe it's supposed to be pronounced Worcester.
Yeah, something like that.
But it's spelled differently than the way it sounds. It's those damn English.
It is. Those English people.
They're so prudish.
It's their fault.
All the people in the Netherlands are like, yeah, screw the Brits. Oh.
What about Belgium? We have Belgium listeners. Belgium.
Brexit forever. You think Brexit was crazy? Wait until the big Brexit happens with the United States with regards to all the trade agreements. It's going to be crazy. Do you think Trump would do something crazy like open up the foreign weed markets so that maybe we can sell some weed back to Colombia and Mexico? Maybe, I don't know.
No.
Hey, if you guys want
anything that makes any sense.
If you guys want really good weed, you got to get it from the United States now.
Well, Canada is going to be opening up big time. Like their new laws, like everyone can grow it, smoke it, roll in it. I don't know. It's going to it sounds like they're being really liberal up there now.
So they're still talking about the Brooklyn Zombies. Have you seen that story?
Oh, no. No, what is the Brooklyn Zombie?
Okay, so they actually have a district like out by Central Park in New York that they call the Zombie District. So if you go out by Central Park, you have like the uppers district, where you get your Coke and your mostly Coke and crack, I guess. I don't know. I've never been to New York. I'm just going based on what people say.
Okay.
And then beyond that, there's another area where you can get a different set of drugs, your weed and your hash and stuff like that. And then over in a different area, there's the K2 people. And the K2 people, I guess that's probably like a subsection of the weed area, right? I don't know. It would be the Denny's or the McDonald's of the of the drug world, I guess. It would be the cheap version of what you're looking for. It wouldn't be real weed, but you could probably get high in some form off of it if you're lucky and don't end up in the hospital. But they call it the zombie area because these people are all wigged out on K2 and it's turning them into zombie-like creatures.
It's just, I don't understand how it can be that much cheaper or better than the real thing. Why would you even want this K2 spice crap? I don't get it.
Well, especially if you're right next to the weed district. Now, I don't know. Maybe that's kind of a problem. Maybe people are thinking they're buying weed, they're getting the K2, and they're just turning into zombies because, you know.
This just sounds like a busing problem.
When emergency medical technicians were called to a mass casualty event in Brooklyn last summer, dispatchers used a word more associated with apocalyptic Hollywood movies than medical emergencies: zombies. Emergency workers reported multiple people at the scene near a subway station on Myrtle Avenue and Broadway on the border of Bushwick and Bedford. It says all of whom had a degree of altered mental status that was described by bystanders as zombie-like, according to a study published Wednesday in the New England Journal of Medicine. In fact, they had overdosed on a designer drug, one that would raise alarms both in the medical community and drug enforcement circles around, and could possibly be a precursor of a more potent and dangerous drug yet still to come. See, they're trying to say, oh, maybe they can cook up this K2 into something even worse. K2 is just if you really want to know, it's what the K2 or the spice or whatever you want to call it. It's got various and sundry names, but it mostly goes by one of those two, K2 or spice. It is a synthesized hodgepodge of cannabinoids in much greater concentration than they would occur in a natural state. So they're synthesized. They're made in a lab. And they're isolated from all the other cannabinoids. So you don't get the balancing effect that you get in a natural plant. It's synthesized. It's of a different origin. And it's extremely potent. And because there's no balancing effect and you're amplifying some of the lesser cannabinoids, you're getting some zombie-like creations. And the whole thing is that people would not know. Let's see, we got another caller here. You want to hang on? I hope I don't lose you, Wendy. If I lose you, call me back. Oh, I lost her. Oh, you're on the Full Melt Show. Hello, you're on the phone.
Hey, this is Dave.
Hey, Dave. Wendy's going to call back. I had a hard time locking her down.
Oh, I was listening to it on the speaker. You're talking about that's the last update that I had. I don't know. Mine's lagging behind, but
you're in a bad cell phone area there, Dave. This is Dave in Wisconsin, right?
Oh, I say, hey, you're.
Hi, Dave.
Yeah, I say.
Yeah, Dave in Wisconsin.
Hey, what's up, Wendy? How you doing? I heard you guys did a bunch of contests without me.
We did. Were you listening? Okay, wait a minute, because I'm interrupting the zombie story. Hold on to that thought, Dave, because I got to get back. I got to get back. We got to get. Let me finish the zombie story before we move on. So they're this business with the hodgepodge of amplified lesser cannabinoids isolated from their sisters and brothers, the rest of the symphony that plays when you consume cannabis. It's like taking the flutes and maybe the percussion and amplifying them and dropping the rest of the chorus and expecting that you're not going to walk out of that symphony with a headache. That's what you're doing here and the whole thing is that K2, the recipe, the method by which you can synthesize these cannabinoids, manipulate chemicals in a beaker into these cannabinoids, would not have even been known unless the DEA and the FDA had worked together in concert with NIDA, who's in control of the federal government's supply of marijuana, would not release this substance to any people who wanted to test it for medical efficacy. Refused to do it. And they said, look, if you want to test a new drug for medical efficacy, you're going to have to isolate it, synthesize it. If it's a cannabinoid, you're going to have to isolate it, synthesize it, figure out a way to make it, and then test it with an independent trial, just like every other drug maker. And so they did do that. And they did whatever their studies and tests, but they left behind the method, the recipe for creating these cannabinoids. And so the evil people got their hands on them and said, hey, look, this isn't illegal. This is made in a drum. This isn't cannabis. These are just cannabinoids. And so they went through this process, and still are in many places, of using various and sundry combinations sprayed on this potpourri-like substance. It's just leaf material of some form or another, probably toxic, I would imagine, because there's no scrutiny over it. And then they spray it with this garbage and expect that this is somehow going to be okay. It came from pot originally, but it's so altered and so amplified and so isolated that it, in my opinion, and obviously in the experience of many people across the country, it's dangerous. But it wouldn't exist if it wasn't for the FDA's original ban on the substance that's naturally balanced and won't kill you. Go figure. So that's the story there. The report by a team of authors offers a window into the ever-evolving world of synthetic drugs, which are growing increasingly powerful, even as the maker of the illicit substances continues to create new chemical compounds to evade detection, which I just told you about. The drug used in Brooklyn with the street name AK-47 24-karat gold was 85 times as potent as the main ingredient or agent in plant-grown marijuana, THC or tetrahydrocannabinol, according to lab tests. In fact, synthetic cannabinoids have a completely different chemical structure from the plant-based THC, according to the study, one of the major draws for both makers and consumers of designer drugs. I won't go into all. It's a much longer story, but it's pretty crazy when you consider that they're both causing the problem that they're raising the alarm to, and then raising the alarm. They're creating the problem and then offering you a solution. Prohibition. It's just such deceit. In any event, Dave, my question for you is: do you ever get a chance to listen to the show, like on the way to work or on the way home?
Yeah, I've kept up with it over the past week or so.
So, were you in fact listening one day on your way to work to the show where we're talking to you and you're not there?
No, I didn't catch it till a couple days later. Actually, I wish I would have been on.
So you did catch it later, and they're talking to me, and I'm not even there. Oh,
yeah.
I
figured I'd chime in on this because this actually kind of brings up a different point as far as the K2 spice and the regulation with the FDA. I'm a big MMA fan. And I've noticed that recently, I don't know if you know what that is, mixed martial arts, UFC.
Yeah.
But there's kind of been a lot of that.
Dave, hang on a second. Hold on a second. I'm sorry. We only got like 10 minutes left in the show. We're holding you off on MMA, mixed martial arts, and cannabis. That's the tie-in. Mixed martial arts and cannabis as, I'm assuming, medicine. Or we'll find out. We're talking with Dave and Wendy. If you want to join the show, 248. Wait a minute, 248-278-8067. We'll be right back with more after this.
You're getting the full melt. And now, a Planet Green Trees flashback.
The window medibles has to be tested too. Is that also part of the caregiver?
No, that's only for the.
They have to be tested.
It's only for the dispensaries.
But there is a new restriction with respect to medibles in that patients can only make them for themselves.
Right.
And they've created new crimes for transfers outside of the caregiver.
They're very specific. I mean, it's not.
That's what we just talked about.
It's no more harsh than the manufacturer.
No. They can be transferred. The medibles can be transferred from the registered caregiver to the registered patient, but not beyond. And that's how they would expect you to interpret the law.
Don't miss the Planet Green Trees show, Thursdays at 8 Eastern on Spreaker. Promotional consideration provided by NoSmell.com, pioneering the storage market for cannabis users. The NoSmell patented bag technology offers users 100% smell-proof detection from even the most sophisticated of noses. NoSmell.com, so nobody knows. When placing your order for a no-smell bag, make sure to use discount code FULLMELT and take 10% off the entire order. Learn more about no-smell technology at NoSmell.com.
Don't stop chasing, wander while the day brings up. Here comes the sunrise and we'll see the sunset. Coasting by the ocean with some music, turn it up. We got the whole night, 360 days of this. All I'm talking wide, the memories will make it. Always make you smile.
Happiness is calling at sandiego.org.
When you need legal help, you don't want to guess at who's standing next to you in court. And when it comes to a medical marijuana defense, it's even smarter to partner with a lawyer before you need one. Based in Royal Oak, David Rudoy has a proven history of not being afraid to take your case all the way to the Supreme Court and win. Find the law offices of Rudoy Law at RudoyLaw.com. RudoyLaw.com is a quick reference on your rights concerning Michigan medical marijuana and up-to-date news. That's RUDOI Law.com. Call 248-935-9074 now and talk about your legal needs, because at RudoyLaw.com, we don't just stand up for you, we stand up with you.
My moderate to severe chronic plaque psoriasis made a simple trip to the grocery store anything but simple. So I had an important conversation with my dermatologist about Humira. He explained that Humira works inside my body to target and help block a specific source of inflammation that contributes to my symptoms. In clinical trials, most adults taking Humira were clear or almost clear, and many saw 75% and even 90% clearance in just 4 months.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious, sometimes fatal infections and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Before treatment, get tested for TB. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Ask about Humira, the #1 prescribed biologic by dermatologists. Clearer skin is possible.
It's the Full Melt Radio Show.
So we're back on the show. It's the end of another week. I can't believe how fast the time goes by. Dave, are you there? Wendy? Oh, they're still hearing the stupid music. The music is, there it is. It's faded out. All right, it's gone. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but the music's really loud still.
Oh, it's going away. There it is. It's gone. What about you? Can you hear us okay, Dave? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. Yep.
All right, so you were talking about MMA, mixed martial arts, a great tie-in for medicine, cannabis. Uh-oh.
Yeah, so I was talking about the K2 and the FDA and how, stuff was regulated as far as, I guess, unregulation of it. But being an avid fan of MMA, I didn't realize that, there's over-the-counter supplements through, GNC, et cetera. And watching some of these guys perform, and you see them get busted for steroids, and you say, oh, well, that guy's, juiced to the gills and this and that. And then they'll say, well, I took an over-the-counter supplement. And what I didn't realize over the years was that, it wasn't that they were lying. These guys oftentimes weren't, on some kind of, shady backroom steroid program, but they actually were getting the stuff over the counter because that industry is not regulated as well. And so the guy who's actually in charge of the UFC's drug testing policy, which is Jeff Nowinski, who worked for the Federal Drug Administration, went on record. And there's a big list of stuff. I mean, he went on record, and he's one of the ones that, helped bust Barry Bonds and Lance Armstrong when he worked for the FDA, and all these things. I mean, you can look that up, but the more shocking thing to me is that a lot of these things that are being sold over the counter as, nutritional supplements contain, trace or high amounts of anabolic steroids and other things that when people are getting drug tested for stuff, it is totally legal. And you would think that, from an outside sporting fan, let's say, looking in, that these guys are, full of crap. Okay, they were doping and lying about it and just trying to cover it up. But that's not the case. I mean, if you really look at it. So, I mean, I kind of look at the K2 spice or K1 spice. I don't know what it is. I've never dealt with it, but in the same fashion that they're allowing things to be considered, a supplement that really contain things that are harmful, if not illegal. So it really opened my eyes to it. I mean, you guys can look it up, but it's unbelievable. And he goes into a long list of, there's thousands of these things that are on the shelf today that have banned substances in them that are perfectly legal to go buy over the counter because they're not regulated by the FDA in any way.
Well, you're right, Dave. I mean, this is a real problem, and it's going to be a bigger problem. Did you see the big hullabaloo? When did you see the big hullabaloo about? And there's still a big blow up about it, about the warning from the DEA to CBD producers.
I didn't see the latest, but I have seen some in the past. But I heard there was something recently that just came out supposedly.
Yeah, let me see if I can find it for you. I think it was in part of the mail today that I get regarding this. I get a lot of updates on news, obviously. If I can get to it here, bear with me. I'm in that stupid Android platform. I'm still having a hard time. There we go. So, legal Massachusetts weed.
So the other thing I thought you were going to talk about was how they banned that boxer who was using cannabis.
Here we go. They did this in Denver last year, too. They did the exact same thing, the prohibitionists. Oh, they're sneaky bastards. One of the fake news. This plays a role in all of this, too, just like it played a role in the election and the suspicion about whether or not the Russians guided our presidential election through underhanded, dirty tactics and captivated us, led us by the noses by our very propensities rather than reality. That's a big question mark. It might loom in history for a while. Who knows? But what's not looming in question is whether or not some of these news stories are real. The story was, and this is posted on Snopes, first recorded marijuana overdose occurs hours after Massachusetts legalization. Do you think that story is true or false? Right.
False.
It's
wrong.
It's called done hitter instead of one hitter. It's a
done hitter.
Yeah, it's a takeoff of one hitter. Instead of one hitter, it's done. I
gotcha.
Just after recreational marijuana was officially legalized in Massachusetts, hoax reports appeared about the first recorded cannabis overdose. They did the same thing, like I said, in Colorado last year. On the 15th of December, 2016, the state of Massachusetts officially legalized marijuana. The Massachusetts marijuana overdose claim wasn't the American Tribune's first foray into fake news based on cannabis-flavored current events. In late November of 2016, the site reported that the Green Party candidate, Jill Stein, embezzled money raised for 2016 election recounts to fund a marijuana dinner party.
Right.
I'm just saying that the moment that it goes legal, you're going to see a lot of this fake news stuff trying to pass it off as real news. Now, where this gets sticky is in the story we were just talking about, the CBD thing. Let me see if I can find this in here. Concerns and opportunity because legal in Massachusetts. Republican legislators detail Tennessee's medical marijuana bill. Tennessee! Go to Nashville. So this is according to Westworld. And I'm just going to... I haven't read this story in advance. This was reported this morning at 7:30 this morning by Kate McKee Simons. CBD and other marijuana extracts illegal under new DEA. Damn it. I got ads now popping up on here. Under new DEA code. On December 14th, the Drug Enforcement... Now, this part is true. The Drug Enforcement Administration added a new code for marijuana extracts and made it clear that such extracts, including CBD oil, are illegal. Though this does not represent a change in the federal law, many CBD producers have operated under the assumption that cannabis-based products with less than the 0.3 THC percentage that's allowed in hemp would be legal. But that's not the case, according to this DEA announcement. Here's the DEA's new definition of marijuana extract that was posted in the Federal Register. Quote, an extract containing one or more cannabinoids that has been derived from any plant of the genus cannabis other than the separated resin, or whether crude or purified, obtained from the plant. This means that any extract of the plant falls under the Schedule I classification along with the THC portion of the plant that gets users high. It also applies to CBD products derived from hemp. In fact, according to the posting, the classification applies to all, quote, extracts that have been derived from any plant of the genus cannabis, end quote. California was the first state to legalize medical marijuana in 1996, and Colorado followed in 2000 when voters passed Amendment 20 and legalized limited amounts of medical marijuana for patients and their primary caregivers. As of September of this year, there are 102,620 registered medical patients in the state of Colorado and 1,444,069 registered patients around the country, according to data compiled by the Marijuana Policy Project. Many of them use medicine based on medical marijuana extracts. Once again, the federal government has shown that it is not caught up with modern science, says Nate Bradley, executive director of the California Cannabis Industry Association. It's common knowledge that CBD has numerous medical uses, including curbing the effects of epilepsy and reducing muscle inflammation from injuries. To deny that shows a complete disregard for the facts. According to the Federal Register entry, the clarification was made to bring the United States into compliance with international drug law treaties. Quote, some differences exist between the regulatory controls pertaining to marijuana extract versus those for marijuana and THC, the entry reads. The DEA has prospectively established separate code numbers for marijuana and for THC, but not for marijuana extract. In announcing the change, acting DEA Administrator Chuck Rosenberg said the new code was necessary to comply with treaty provisions and, quote, track quantities of this material separately from quantities of marijuana, end quote. The story goes on. But the point...
Well, I'd like to hear from Stanley on this one. Josh, I wonder what Josh is saying to all this week.
Well, you know what? It's not beyond us to get him back on, or somebody from the Stanley family to get back on, or other CBD producers or purveyors, especially ones that are separated from hemp. Now, mind you, we are importing tons of hemp products into this country and distributing through retailers in malls and stores and shops and marketplaces all across this country, in every state. But we are prohibited from growing this product here, manufacturing this product here, or selling this product here by our own government. Tell me how the trade laws and the legal laws are either prudent or just or realistic. In any event, I'm thumping my... I get pissed off if I start thumping my fist on the counter. I believe that much of the ballyhoo is just huff and puff. I don't think that the DEA is going to be trying to make cases out of, drug cases. I think they'd be laughingstock fools if they were trying to say, look, this guy's got, pot shampoo. We need to put him in prison for his pot shampoo sales. I just think that it's a farce. I think that there was a story that debunked much of what the ballyhoo about what the DEA did do. I think there's some confusion about what it means. And like I said, the story itself says that it doesn't change the law. The law hasn't changed. The law itself has not changed. The DEA doesn't have the headroom. They don't have the allowance. They don't have the permission to create their own laws about this stuff. They only get to enforce. They're an enforcement administration, right there in the middle name, enforcement. So they're a part of the enforcement branch of government, right? They're part of law enforcement. It's the executive branch. The executive branch is in charge of law enforcement. The judicial branch is in charge of determining what the law means, and the legislative branch is in charge of creating the law itself. I mean, that's the separation of powers. And my whole problem, I have to underscore this conversation with, is the underlying idea that the separation of powers, at least in this state, is violated again and again when you get one member lobbying the other member of this separation of powers. When you get the legislative branch being lobbied fully by the executive branch over what the laws should be. It shows you how openly corrupt the government is. The moment that one of these branches of government starts lobbying the other branch of government, you've essentially connected them together. You've given them a nexus that shouldn't exist. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Amen.
I'm just saying, there shouldn't be a connection between legislative bodies where there's a constitutionally forbidden barrier. I mean, there's a barrier in place for a reason. There are elected bodies, appointed bodies. I mean, this is how our government exists. This is how our democracy works. To allow these two portions of government to get together and be unified as one through lobbying of one in the other's formal chambers is a disaster.
Well, I got a little snippet for you there, Steve.
Go ahead.
To tie it back to the FDA, which is the Food and Drug Administration, which is supposed to look out for our health and welfare, the product safety of our food in our country. And right from their website, I'll just take a little quotation. Today, the FDA regulates 1 trillion worth of products a year. It ensures the safety of all food except for meat, poultry, and some egg products, ensures the safety and effectiveness of all drugs, biological products, including blood, vaccines, and tissues for transplantation, medical devices, and animal drugs and feed, and make sure that cosmetics and medical consumer products that emit radiation do no harm.
Wow.
So I would really, really stretch to understand how they're doing that.
Some
instance.
Some of the
if you can sell if you can sell K2 spice perfectly legal and it's never once tested by the Food and Drug Administration, I would say perhaps they're not doing their job.
Well, and they're not.
But I think K2 is illegal, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. There's nothing legal about K2 almost everywhere in the country. At some point, it was because the substance that was in said product didn't meet the definition of cannabis or any definition of any substance under the CSA, because it was isolated cannabinoids amplified and sprayed together in a concoction, in a made up potion. So they would just take, what would happen is they'd take 3 of these substances, include them in a batch, and then somewhere they would test this to find out what it was. And then they would ban these substances and add them to the acts in various states and sometimes the federal government's level. And then what the makers would do is they just go, okay, no big deal. We'll just take these 3 then and put those in there.
Right, and
they've been doing this dance. They've been doing this dance through 168 of these cannabinoids. 3 cannabinoids, 4, 5, 6 at a time, because as soon as they make these 3 illegal in combination, they just put a different 3 in, or sometimes just add 2 more. Hey, you guys didn't say this combination wasn't legal. So they've been playing that dance for a while now.
Yeah, and getting back to what I was talking about with the MMA stuff earlier, with the synthetic stuff that's in some of these other nutritional supplements, that there's actually been people that the vitamin companies, you'd have to look it up, but the vitamin companies actually made some of the nutritional supplements that were for sports nutrition, et cetera, with some of these other
food supplements.
Call it illegal supplements, and because they didn't clean the machinery out, they actually had people suffer liver damage from it, and they sued them. So, I mean, how is that protecting the people through what they're stating today? I don't understand. But
there's all kinds of failures at the FDA's level, and excuse me, also additional added cost at the federal government's level for the same reason. There's this huge burden, and look, I like science. I'm a scientific guy. I'm skeptical by nature. Somebody just can't come running up to me with a claim and get me to believe it, especially if it seems unbelievable. But even if it doesn't seem unbelievable, the fact that somebody's coming to me and making a claim makes me want to fact check. It makes me want to see if this is accurate or not. I don't know. I have no idea who you are or what you represent. I don't know how trustworthy how reliable you are, if you're a liar or not, what your history is. I'm going to go check your claim against the facts.
I forget, what was that guy's name? It was on the infomercial.
The infomercial? Which
was selling the natural...
Oh, you're talking about Trudeau? You're talking about Justin... Is it no?
Justin, yeah.
No, his name
how does a guy like that get around?
Justin Trudeau is the Prime Minister of Canada. I think this guy's name is Trudeau, too, but I can't remember his first name. You're talking about the natural remedy guy. You're talking about the guy that wrote books about natural cures.
Kevin
Trudeau. That's his name. Thank you.
Kevin Trudeau.
You know, they chased him out of this country, and eventually France gave him up to U.S. justice authorities, and they've got him currently in a prison in New York somewhere.
Which is weird because he just wrote a book. He wasn't the guy making the stuff.
That's all he did. Look, he wasn't even making anything. Like there was no instructions on how to.
Right.
This was just a list of what the book was called. Natural cures and remedies that the government doesn't want you to know about. Where
do you hear about them busting the dudes making the stuff?
Making what stuff?
Making all these claims about this product or that product that
these were not
that are false.
These weren't products or product claims. These were natural remedies. These were just like
recipes in your kitchen.
Right, old wives' tale stuff like hey, honey and whiskey and lemon is a great cough syrup. Well, yeah, but
especially the whiskey part.
Yeah, but you're not allowed to give whiskey to kids.
Wow.
I'm just saying.
Technically speaking, allegedly.
I'm just saying, if you did that in front of a cop, he would arrest you for providing alcohol to a minor, for contributing to the delinquency of a minor.
They used to put that in bottles of milk, though. That used to be an old times remedy. If you couldn't get your kid to sleep, you put a little bit of whiskey in the milk bottle.
About if you burn your hand, there's you put butter on it, or if you there's all kinds of wives' tales and home remedies. Really, I consider them home remedies for and really, if you look at them, they're much like stereotypes. They're blatantly false, but all have a thread of truth to them. In other words, they're exaggerated, examples of something that was truthful at one point, but it no longer represents the truth. So, in other words, somebody at some point did something to remedy something, and it either worked for them or it didn't. And if it did, they tried it again and passed it along. And at some point, you have to rely upon the pass along, because so many people have said, hey, if you got the hiccups, take some peanut butter, because that is the home remedy for hiccups. How do you cure hiccups? Peanut butter. Because
bitters.
I actually tried it. It worked.
Bitters.
No, it's peanut butter. I've tried it.
Yeah, but bitters work. Bitters is another really good remedy. Like if you're at the bar and you get the hiccups, it's bitters and something else. I don't remember.
So I don't know. It might be something in the taste reflex. There might be a reflex associated with taste we don't know about. Where it?
Yeah.
I know that hiccups are a reflex, and it's from bubbles in your stomach, and it's causing this reflex. So.
It's a muscle thing. It's a muscle spasm.
Correct. It's a sensory perception thing, too. So there's something about you putting peanut butter on your palate and swallowing it that changes the muscle perception and stops that reflex. And there must be something about bitters, if I've never tried that, if it's a good remedy. But I know that the peanut butter thing has worked for me on multiple occasions. So if I've got the hiccups and they just won't go away, I just go reaching for a spoon of peanut butter. But Big Pharma would rather tell you got to run off to the store and grab you some Tums or get you something else. They want to sell you something that, hey, everybody's agreed through blind clinical trialing is a cure for hiccups. But if you say you've got a cure for hiccups, the FDA and the it's the Trade Commission that came down on, it's the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, that came down with the raid on Trudeau's house out in the middle of the country somewhere. There's a big mansion out in the country. But they broke down his house with a no-knock style raid, like a SWAT style raid, to break down the doors to save the people from his dangerous books. He had books there. Boxes and boxes of books.
Right, that's the thing.
Information is dangerous. Information is dangerous.
Well, apparently it's so dangerous.
They're willing to do that.
Apparently it's so dangerous that they needed to craft a law about it. Remember, this is the land of the free, freedom of speech. The only thing you can't say the only thing you can't say publicly that's illegal is yell fire in a crowded theater, because you're going to cause more damage than you are gaining freedom of speech. I'm just saying. How can you limit somebody's... Look, I'm not selling a product. I'm only selling a book, and the book is making a claim. There are home remedies that people say cure illnesses. And that's what the FDA doesn't like, is that word cure. The name of the book were Natural Remedies and Home Cures that the government doesn't want you to know about. That was one of the books. They made...
Ironically.
They took all of his stuff. They've done this on multiple occasions. They took all his books. They shut them all down. He opened up under another name and started selling another book that had a similar name. And they would just do it again.
You know what, Steve? I'd like to talk a little bit more about how cannabis does work as a quote, cure with these football players and these boxers that get these head injuries, and they get this thing called encephalopathy.
Well,
and that's something...
You're talking about CTE is what you're talking about.
Yeah, and my alma mater
all I got to say about
Fort
that
Lauderdale.
Is, all I got to say about that is 6630507. That's all I got to say.
Yep.
And
my alma mater...
It's the federal government's patent on the neuroprotective qualities of CBD and THC in cannabis. It's right there in the federal patent that there is a medical efficacy to this drug. Listen, you guys, I'm sorry, but we're at the end of the show.
All right.
All right. Wait, you said that like it was painful.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right.
I'll call in again. Thanks.
All right, we'll talk to you later. Wendy, I'll talk to you after the show. So, there we go. We will see you again next, hopefully tomorrow. If you don't hear us tomorrow, it's because we're upgrading to video so we can do this on Facebook every day. By the way, that test was a rousing success.
The Full Melt Show is a production of TFM Media.